Hey, welcome to Kurmi Roadshow, managing Webex Calling, Multi-Tenant, and Dedicated Instance. And we're going to be talking about, this is part 2 in a series. We did one a couple weeks ago, which you can find online or you can email us and we'll share the link with you about migration. This one's about a trend that we've seen quite a bit, which is managing multiple versions of Webex from a single portal. Both are popular for different reasons. We'll get into that a bit. My name is Micah Singer. I'm the CEO of Kurmi Software.
And I'm Kyle O'Neill. I'm the manager of service delivery in Americas.
Great. Well, nice to be here with you again, Kyle. We'll keep a nice pace through this. Just a reminder that these are pretty limited format. We're going to try and do this in 22 minutes with some Q&A at the end. So one, make sure you ask questions. There should be a button that says questions somewhere on your screen. So write it and we'll read them and try and get through as many as possible. And two, clearly there's a deeper dive that can be necessary if you have very specific questions. So feel free to contact us. It's generally a very consultative sales approach that we take. So we're educating a lot as we're answering your questions. Okay, I'm gonna carry on. Okay, so today we're going to cover a number of topics. And try and do, like I said, try and do it quite concisely. The first one is why are people using multiple versions of Cisco UC platforms together? Then we're going to talk about what are the challenges of this methodology. What is it harder to do? What is it easier to do? Third, we're going to go into a bit of a discussion of how Kurmi complements Control Hub. Control Hub is a Cisco product that allows management, quite powerful in and of itself, with certain limitations where we complement. We're also going to have a guest speaker from the product team at Cisco who's going to speak on that exact subject. And then some of the real meat of the presentation will be about a case study, a use case that we've seen out there in our experience, and a demo showing you how you can use Kurmi to manage multiple UC systems from Cisco. And finally, just in general, this is all in aid of future-proofing your UC infrastructure. So what Kurmi does generally on a broader, writ large, incorporating migration, some of this multi-system management, and planning for the future. Okay, jump right in. Okay, first of all, Kurmi, for those of you who don't know, we were founded in 2011. The company started in the Brittany region of France. We've expanded considerably since then. We have offices in New York, still in the Brittany region of France, and Rennes is our largest office where we do a lot of R&D. Also offices in Paris, Berlin, and Dubai, mirroring where we sell. We have a large footprint of customers in over 25 countries, whereas originally, 13 years ago, we were selling a lot in France. Now, about half of our business is in North America, and about 10% is in France overall, the rest spread around Europe, Middle East, and other countries. We sell to, or the beneficiary of our technology are large enterprises. IT administrators, large enterprises tend to be our biggest fans. We sell to them through channels, VARs, systems integrators, and managed service providers or service providers. So if you work with larger enterprises in any capacity, generally they have infrastructure management issues on IT, and that's really where Kurmi comes in. We're seeing increasingly as we've grown up that it's nice to manage UC, but there's lots of other integrations that are key. ServiceNow, to name one, that's top of mind, but others where integration from those systems to Kurmi as essentially a type of middleware really facilitates automation. And our greatest strength, what we hear a lot in the market, is the flexibility of deployment models. So we can do a lot with our technologies to out of the box and also to customize as those needs come up. So for a long time, for about the better part of 10 years, we've been we found that Cisco is an increasingly important partner of ours, and we've hopefully been able to carry some weight as well and be a nice complement to some of the great technology they build. We are an ecosystem partner in pretty much any which way possible. Most notably lately would be Solutions Plus, development partner, and on the Cisco Global Price list. We get the call usually when problems are of a certain nature where their teams know we can be helpful, and we often refer back to Cisco a lot for user stories and use cases where we've been particularly relevant to illustrate success. So the first question is, why would you use multiple platforms? So, this could be I'm going to try and put this really succinctly, but in a cloud world, one of the great benefits for large enterprises is the ability to use more easily lots of different technologies. So you often see mix and match, or it's more common for single enterprises to have multiple UC platforms. Cisco has historically brought together some of the leading systems for UC management. And in this case, and what we're seeing more lately is in their cloud versions of WebEx, they've actually offered two solutions, both that have great strengths and really cover the gamut of what's necessary. So these are a multi-tenant approach where an enterprise is as a shared platform, and a dedicated instance, which looks more like Call Manager, the historically on-premise system. Why have they done this? Because different users have different requirements, different companies have different requirements, different departments have different requirements. And if you give people what they need, the features they need, and not all the ones they're not using, that increases adoption. It allows enterprises to roll something out that's customized, easy customization to their user populations. And right sizing tends to always make sense. It makes sense for the pocketbook, of course, but it also makes sense for keeping the users engaged with the right technologies in front of them. So we feel that Cisco, in these two together, has created a really full solution with many of the options to compete, to take Call Manager and other on-prem systems to the cloud, and also to compete with entrants from Microsoft and others that have knowledge worker light systems. I think the next one is for you, Kyle.
Yeah, so Webex DI and Multi-Tenant are very different. Users and resources are not synchronized across both systems, and number management needs to be coordinated. It takes time. Your business logic needs to be built out and maintained in both environments, and it can be a hassle. You'll have to keep your admins trained up on two environments, two different systems for provisioning, a lot of flow charts and user manuals, two sets of instructions for daily administration of telephony users. Remembering which system a particular user or a particular site exists on, that's a pain. So when we talk about daily administration of Webex calling, we've seen how easy Control Hub is to use, but that's only for multi-tenant. If we want to do some bulk action, CSV is typically our go-to. If we want to integrate with third-party systems like ServiceNow, we can consume the Control Hub ABI, but there's so much to manage. But with Kurmi, we spend a lot of time making daily administration simple. Our interface is super intuitive. Bulk administration through Excel and CSV is almost possible through any of the objects in Kurmi. All of our API actions condense down complicated provisioning workflows into simple calls to our API. We've seen a lot of success with customers integrating Kurmi with their ITSMs like ServiceNow, and simple condensed payloads, messages, easy to synchronize that information from those two systems. And Kurmi is just simple all around. It's a pleasure.
There you go. So we have we're fortunate to have Alec Walker, who is a director of product management at Cisco. He recorded a brief video that we're going to play in just a second. Alec works on the Control Hub product. He's been there from the beginning, understands its strengths and where Kurmi complements. And it's particularly interesting always to talk to Alec because, he often tells us, where we should be focusing and how we can augment what they've done and ultimately allow more people to use their underlying communication technology. So if you could roll the tape, we'd love to hear what Alex has to say.
Hi, Alec. Thanks for speaking with us. Can you introduce yourself and share a bit about how Kurmi complements Control Hub?
I am the product manager, or one of the product managers that oversees Control Hub. So in some ways, Kurmi is competing with Control Hub in terms of what we're trying to do. But I don't look at it that way at all, because in the best part about working with Kurmi is Kurmi can have a strength where we have a weakness. And I certainly recognize there are some weaknesses in our current administration capabilities. So for example, advanced filtering, being able to slice and dice your data based on segmentation, based on locations, based on specific profile attributes. These are areas that we are looking to improve upon in Control Hub, but this obviously has advanced capabilities that Kurmi can offer, which is great. And we want to give options for our partners and customers. Second, especially with calling, we are working in hybrid modes of calling, where we have customers that exist on-premise and they exist in the cloud in a dedicated instance. And then they also exist in where we want them to go is Webex Calling in our multi-tenant platform.
What kinds of companies can benefit from leveraging Kurmi with Control Hub?
It depends. I don't want to say that it's necessarily large or small, but I just use some good examples. I do think for large organizations, it's especially helpful. Large organizations where they may have a specific vertical focus, or they may be doing something with their business that is unique and specific that cannot be addressed directly from Control Hub. And the configurability of Kurmi allows it to adjust to whatever a specific business may be using. So I'd probably say large enterprises and vertical specific, but again, it could be small businesses as well. It really depends on the needs of the customer or partner.
What has been your experience working with Kurmi?
So Kurmi is great. We look at Kurmi as a good partnership. There's been many opportunities that, where the value is exactly, based on the questions we've already talked through, where we're going to bring in Kurmi into, the conversation, and it's a good viable option for partners or customers. So great relationship. And as a real important part to our business is the migration of our customers from Call Manager and on-prem deployments. And Kurmi's been an excellent partner there as we go into various, cloud options, whether that's DI or multi-tenant. So great partner and good to work with.
What's coming up for Control Hub?
There's a lot of things that we're doing in Control Hub. So a lot of the things that Kurmi does very well, we're looking to add to our capabilities as well. A lot around bulk management. We're extending more APIs every day. So this empowers folks like Kurmi that they can build more capabilities on top of our platform. And we're looking to do some exciting things with templates. So some of those are some of the roadmap items that we're looking to do in Control Hub in calendar year 2024.
Yeah, thank you, Alec. That's great. Interesting to see compare and contrast, complement what we each do. In general, Kurmi has some high order capabilities that are really appreciated by our existing customers, and these are relevant in managing these two systems. These are really everything from a single pane of glass. Hear about a lot. Just one place to do everything. This simplifies the required knowledge to manage these tasks on the various systems. IT departments are harder and harder pressed to manage lots and lots of different technologies. So any way you can remove the need for specialized skills, you make things easier and you reduce errors. Specific to telecommunications, and Kyle mentioned it earlier, was phone number management. Phone number management is in large organizations is quite a challenge. Bulk operations are on anyone's list. Bulk is not always bulk. I mean, for us, bulk means any slice and dice you want. Anyone who's using voicemail across any system, anyone in any country, anyone, basically any fields that are available for us to manage on, you can bulk slice. Security is a big one. We see that as delegation and segmentation of who has access to what information. And then really the big one is managing nowadays managing UC migrations. So everyone's on the move. It's true. It's true in life, and it's true in UC systems. And ultimately, this ability to manage UC migrations is about detaching the management systems from the underlying technology you use. Businesses want the choice, the cost choice, the decision choice on anything underlying. And when you have a system like Kurmi that's separated from that underlying UC management system or UC system, you can move things, migrate, make decisions that are best for your company at that moment. We have a slide here. There's a bunch more detail. I was thinking, Kyle, you might have some insight into, rather than me going through 12 of these, which of these are most relevant that you see time and again that our customers appreciate.
One of the biggest wow factors is the rollback and log tracking. We can show that Kurmi knows about the sequencing of a particular action, and we say, you know what, that wasn't the right move, that wasn't the right configuration, let's revert it back. In one click, we can put back the database and the phone system to the previous state, and you show that, and people are like, I love that. How many times have I made a mistake where I have to put it back? And that's great with Kurmi. Another one, right now I have a project with zero-touch provisioning where Kurmi synchronizes to an external source like an AD, and Kurmi's just provisioning users in the background, and it's just running along for years, and it's really cool to see it when it all actions and happens. And the last one, we talked about it with the filtering, really being able to get that granular information. I want to see users with this license in this department, this location, who have Kyle as the first name. Kurmi's able to do those filters. I can save them. I can share them with you. But more and more, give us a call. We'll give you a demo of the rest of them. But, so many features that people love. So let's talk about this customer, the migration case study. They decided that multi-tenant with Webex was a great solution for most of their users. Migrating them to multi-tenant from UCM was a simple with Kurmi action. We were able to assign the same number in the multi-tenant environment, and all of their daily features were provisioned in that migration process. For more advanced users, Webex DI was a better choice. So with that classic UCM or Webex DI feature set with Kurmi, managing both environments is seamless. So we were able to keep consistent all of the business rules for each location, especially like phone number management. These numbers belong to the New York office. These numbers are global. All of the business logic with, okay, these types of users in this type of organization, like a call center, they need these settings. All of that's baked into Kurmi, and it's seamless between the two environments. And their operations team is able to save time by having a similar provisioning experience for both Webex calling environments. So whether they're provisioning a user on the DI environment, it's a very similar experience to multi-tenant. So that's great. So I think we're going to do a demo next, Micah. Ready to go?
Yeah, I think. Well, are you ready to go? Because so we're gonna do a live demo, which is always fun. And again, the format, we have a few more minutes, so it's going to be 3 to 5 minutes. It's going to be short, but ask questions, and if you want to see more, obviously ping us directly. But without further ado, it's all yours, Cal.
Thanks, Micah. Okay, Kurmi tab. Okay, so from here, I'm in the Kurmi global view. I'm an administrator for this entire organization, and I've got some dashboards that show me all of my locations, the geographies like the EMEA region, the US region, APAC. So in this dashboard, I can see like, oh yeah, I got 37 users deployed here, 10 in America. In the next dashboard, I have a visual on the usage of the different packages. So I can see at a glance that in my CUCM or my Webex DI environment, I've got 10 advanced users. Maybe I've got 20 basic. And in Webex calling, I've got 10, Webex IM 3. So these are the distributions. As at a glance, I can see, yeah, this is what things are looking like. And the last one here, really helpful. As a Webex multi-tenant administrator, licensing is really key. I want to keep costs low if I can. And I can see that I have 16 users that are enabled with the call on Webex license. And then I have 10 users that are consuming the professional licenses. So at a glance, that's really helpful. Let's say that in this environment, we are able to seamlessly manage our DI and our multi-tenant. So let me show you the packages in Kurmi. So packages are like user profiles. So I can set up as many as I want to, kind of keeping it simple with our Cisco basic, our advanced, and our call center with the UC6, and as well as our Webex multi-tenant. So in our CUCM or UCM, our classic call manager, or Webex DI, these are the features that are available. So in the basic, maybe I just get a phone and a line. Where in the advanced, of course, I can get a little more. And then if I look at our Webex calling and Webex IM, our multi-tenant users, I can scroll down and see that the same type of interface here for configuring Kurmi for my organization. The users, obviously we need a user, but then we have some settings that are available for calling, and these are the additional capabilities. So from the package setup in Kurmi, it makes it very simple to condense my, my business logic into these user profiles that scale very nicely. Okay, so let's switch to the view of a localized admin or a location specific. So this is the view as an America's admin. So as I showed you with the previous dashboards, at a glance, I can see how many users are configured in the different locations. But as a localized admin, I'm only seeing those users that are applicable to my geography. So I'm the Americas admin. I'm not going to see users from APAC. I'm not going to see users in Germany. These are the ones I need to see. So as we talked about that role-based access control, this is really key for a lot of our customers to segment those different areas and responsibilities. Okay, so let's create a user. So I'm going to go to our daily management and our Active Directory. So we're synchronized with a directory source. And let's choose Jody here. So Jody automatically imported to Kurmi in the New York department based on some information like an OU or an attribute, the city status or whatever. So we can click the magic button, the quick create. And so from this form, we're able to continue with the information that we've imported from the directory source. We know about the email address. We know about the first name, the last name. We know about where they should be in the world. As an administrator, I'm able to override those settings. But here, maybe in the package, let's configure this user instead for the CUCM, the DI environment. Let's put them in the multi-tenant. So I'm changing the package as I showed you earlier. And with this orientation of the form, now we can see that the licenses are showing up. We know as multi-tenant administrators that these are some of the good licenses. But with the choice of this location, the New York location, the department, we're showing that there is a phone number applicable for that location. We're not showing a number from Dallas or Germany. If I choose the number pop-up, I can see at a glance some numbers that are in red. That means that they're already assigned. Gray means that they're reserved for future use, and green, they're available for me now. So let's choose a better number. So I like that one right there. Okay, and everything looks good. Some things are happening on the background. Kurmi knows how Webex calling works, whether it's multi-tenant or DI. We have all that logic built in. Your business logic is what's configured into Kurmi, and so some things happen in the background. So let's hit apply. Everything looks good. So Kurmi's provisioning that in the multi-tenant environment. So we can go back and look. Now I can see this user is provisioned with Webex calling. Maybe I can add a hunt group to the user, something like that. Okay, now that user is enabled with a hunt group. If I go back and look at the ticket operation, I can see all of the details, the technical things that happen in the background that Kurmi is instructed to do. So I'm building the caller ID, the call waiting, all those things that make Webex multi-tenant work. So that's creation. Let's show you a migration from classic call manager or Webex DI to multi-tenant. So I'm going to pick a user. So how about Angela? So Angela, we can see, is in the Los Angeles department. She has the CUCM basic package. So if we look down here at the package view, I can see that there's a desk phone, a hard phone, the SCP, a directory number, and a CSF or a Jabber device. So now I've made the decision as an administrator, we're going to migrate Angela over to the multi-tenant environment through with Kurmi. We can click the modify button. And from the package choice, we can move it down to calling. So as we saw previously, all of the good settings for Webex multi-tenant, Webex calling environment are happening in the background, but as an administrator, I can make some additional choices. Number looks good. Let's say it's great to go. So now I'm going to perform a migration with Kurmi from DI or UCM to multi-tenant. So click like that. Now it's done. Let's look at the change log or the operation log. So as I scroll down, I can see here, let's point to like the creation of the user in the multi-tenant environment. Yeah, looks good. We know all those settings are important, but more importantly, we activated a user in multi-tenant, but we deactivated the user in the old UCM or the Webex DI environment. It's more appropriate from them over here. We're freeing up stuff in DI environment. So we deleted the desk phone. We changed the user. We deleted the directory number. We deleted the Jabber, the remote destination profile, the voicemail. So all those things are sequenced in one action. Kurmi's managing both. So as we saw, Kurmi as a local admin, Kurmi as a global admin, managing multi-tenant and DI for Webex calling is super painless, super easy, and Kurmi super intuitive. So I think that's a great start for showing you what Kurmi can do, and then you can reach out to us for a more specific demo to you. So Micah?
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you for. It's hard to do that to make it understandable in a short format. So thanks, Kyle, for doing that, and thank you for the underlying technology for cooperating while on a live demo. That's always fun. Yeah, I mean, so really just to wrap it up, we. You know, the strengths that Kurmi has have been foundational to our success are in a world of multiple UC systems. In this case, Cisco with two great technologies that are maybe even better together depending on your user population. These are very relevant. This saves you time. Obviously, you see things can happen much quicker. Your admin costs is always a pain point in the world we live in because IT departments are trying to do more with less, fewer people, or the same amount of people with many more systems is often what we see. Errors are very frustrating. Phone number assignment is one. Wrong features. All these things are really easy to automate, to put under previous decisions or form decisions rather than the individual making the change, sort of having each time it being a crapshoot. And in the end, our favorite champions and advocates are IT administrators who benefit from these savings of time and effort and get results that make the most sense. I think that's it. That's all we have for our scheduled presentation. There were a few questions that have come in. I wanted to make sure we're at a half an hour now, so we'll try and get through them pretty quick. So Kyle, I think as these things are, not a lot of questions for the commercial guy, more for the person who understands the technology, and that's the case here. So what are can you connect to? I guess the question is, can you connect to more than one Webex site? So I guess there'd be multiple. I guess it could.
Yeah. Imagine like a merger where you have two different Webex environments. So you're connecting a Kurmi to have a seamless management. So yes, we can connect multiple instances of Webex, hundreds of clusters of Webex DI, multiple directory sources. So yes. Love to show you that if you'd like to see it. But
that's great.
How about the next
one? So I know we mentioned a couple of times ServiceNow and integration with IT service management platforms like ServiceNow. Can you elaborate on why people do that and how hard it is to do?
Yeah, so there's always this question of what's the front end, what's the interface. So where we have ITSMs like ServiceNow, Kurmi's kind of in that middle. Powerful engine for Kurmi to connect with all of our connectors like multi-tenant and DI. ServiceNow can send a simple payload. So it could be like, let's talk about an activation of user. Micah starts on Monday. From ServiceNow, the manager is requesting Micah to have that knowledge worker package. So it's a very simple payload from ServiceNow to Kurmi. And that action, Kurmi processes it in the background, and then we update. You get an email. Hey, here's your new phone number. We assigned you in the New York location. So the logic between the ITSM and Kurmi is very simple, and all of the real horsepower is on the Kurmi side, and we make it simple with that API call. So lots of examples of that too.
Okay, I mean, we have a few other questions, but just in the interest of time, we're at about half an hour. We'll reach out to the people who've asked the questions individually. Sorry, we can't present them here. We're really trying to keep it into the format. Of course, just the call to action here. We love to talk. Clearly, we love to talk about our technology. We think it's second to none, especially if you have hard problems. So please reach out to us. I'm sure there'll be a follow-up question answer. You can scan this QR code that you see in front of us. And yeah, thank you for taking the time to join us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.